Third grade, today we are taking our reading test. Remember that your answers are going to go on this form. Today we have number 1 through 10, and then we're going to work on our essay writing at the back. So you can go ahead, number 11 through 20, you can cross off. Mysterious Mars. People have always been curious at Mars. After all, it is close to Earth and can easily be seen with a telescope. Moreover, Mars is much like Earth. It is a rocky planet that has hills, valleys, and plains. For years, people wanted to know if there was life on Mars, so scientists started looking for facts. What have they found out? Water is important for all living things. Without it, plants and animals cannot live. So scientists first searched for signs of water on Mars. They looked through a powerful telescope. They saw that the main areas of the planet looked like dry stream beds. Now, most experts firmly believe that there was water on Mars long ago. Scientists also know that Mars is very cold. The freezing temperatures would make it difficult to live there. Moreover, large dust storms sweep across the surface of the planet. They may last for many months. Sometimes, dust covers the whole planet. It dims the sun's light. It would be hard for living things to breathe or see in such a dusty place. NASA is a group of people that is responsible for space travel and research. They built spacecraft to visit Mars. The first spacecraft flew to Mars in 1975. Its name was Viking. One of its jobs was to look for signs of life. Viking took lots of photographs. The pictures showed proof that scientists were right. Nothing could live on Mars. NASA sent Pathfinder to Mars in 1996. It went to test rocks and soil. It gathered special details about the weather on Mars. Pathfinder sent more than 16,000 photographs back to Earth. Scientists looked closely at the pictures and information to discover more facts about the planet. They wondered if there was water under the ice caps. They also wanted to know if any plants or animals had ever lived there. Then, in 1999, Mars Polar Lander traveled to Mars. Its job was to look for water under the planet's south ice cap. This trip did not go well. Sadly, the spacecraft was lost before it was able to explore the area. With the Mars Polar Lander gone, NASA had to go back to the drawing board. It ended up sending 2 robots to Mars in 2004. Their names are Spirit and Opportunity. The robots' mission was to move around the planet and take photographs. They also picked up soil and rocks. NASA tested the materials to see what they were made of. Spirit and Opportunity have collected lots of details about this mysterious planet. Scientists are still finding out new facts about Mars all the time. Perhaps someday they will discover if there was ever life on the planet. Number 1. The main idea of the article is A. Mars is very similar to Earth. B. NASA has made many missions to Mars. C. Plants and animals cannot survive on Mars. Or D. Scientists still have a lot to learn about Mars. 3 of these are details that were in the text, and then 1 is the big overarching main idea, right? Like, for example, plants and animals cannot survive on Mars. That was a detail. Okay? Same with all the missions. That was a detail. Same with Mars is very similar. That was a detail. But the big idea is that scientists still have a lot to learn about Mars. So you're going to fill in D on your answer form. 2. Read this sentence. After all, it is close to Earth and can be easily seen with a telescope. Easily means done with ease. What is an example of something done noisily? So that would be done with a lot of noise. What would be loud? A parade, studying for the test, a trip to the library, or taking a tour of a museum. Which one of those would be very, very loud? Like the library, that would be really quiet. Which one of these would be really loud? 3. Now, most experts firmly believe that there was water on Mars long ago. To firmly believe something, if you firmly believe something, you really believe it, you just think it's absolutely true, does that mean you're angry about it, happy about it, certain about it, or confused about it? Number 4. What is the main idea of the third paragraph on page 145? Let's read the answers first, then let's go back and reread the third paragraph on page 145. What's the main idea? Dust storms on Mars can dim the sun's light. Mars is the coldest planet. Dust storms can last for many months. Or dust and cold temperatures on Mars make life there difficult. Third paragraph. 1, 2, 3. Scientists know that Mars is very cold. The freezing temperatures would make it difficult to live there. Okay, so we talked about cold and freezing temperatures. Moreover, large dust storms sweep across the surface of the planet. They may last for many months. Sometimes dust covers the whole planet. It dims the sunlight. It would be hard for living things to breathe or see in such a dusty place. So, what would be the main idea? We talked a lot about cold and dust. Dust storms can dim the sun's light. That's just a detail. Mars is the coldest planet. Detail. Dust storms can last for many months. Detail. Dust and cold make life there difficult. That's the main idea. Read this sentence. It would be hard for living things to breathe or see in such a dusty place. The suffix y means full of. Which answer choice uses the y in the same way as dusty? So dusty means full of dust. Does any mean full of an? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Does chunky, if something's chunky, does that mean it's full of chunks? If something's factory, does that mean it's full of factors? Yikes. If something's toy, does that mean it's full of toy? There's only one of those answers that makes sense. Number 6. The main responsibility of NASA is to study rocks and soil from Mars, study the weather patterns on Mars, research and develop new spacecraft, or discover if water exists on other planets. Well, we need to go back and reread for this one. Oh, I see NASA here. NASA is a group of people that's responsible for space travel and research. Let's talk about spacecrafts here with NASA. See which one works best there. Main responsibility is to study rocks and soil from Mars, study weather patterns, research and develop new spacecrafts, or discover if water exists on other planets. Well, spacecrafts is their main responsibility. They're responsible for all that research. Read the sentence from the article. It is a rocky planet that has valleys, hills, and plains. Suffix y means full of. A rocky hill is one that contains what? Well, rocks. Which of these would be a synonym for rocks? Stones, ponds, streams, or trees? Eight. With the Mars Polar Lander gone, NASA had to go back to the drawing board. It ended up sending 2 robots to Mars in 2004. What does go back to the drawing board mean? If you go back to the drawing board, you go back to think of a new idea. Does that mean to give up, to plan ahead, to begin again, or to sketch maps? Doesn't have anything to do with maps or planning. So when they went back to the drawing board, what'd they do? Give up, or did they begin again? 9. Which of the following details would best support the main idea of the third paragraph on page 146? Page 146 here. Third paragraph, 1, 2, 3. With the Mars Polar Lander gone, NASA had to go back to the drawing board. It ended up sending 2 robots to Mars in 2004. Their names are Spirit and Opportunity. The robots' mission was to move around the planet and take photographs. They also picked up soil and rocks. NASA tested the materials to see what they were made of. Spirit and Opportunity have collected lots of details about this mysterious planet. Scientists are still finding out new facts about Mars all the time. Perhaps someday they will discover if there was ever life on the planet. Okay, so the main idea is getting a bunch of information and facts from those 2 robots. What detail would support that? Robots picked up soil and rocks. NASA sent 2 robots to Mars. NASA tested materials to see what they were made of, or the robots' mission was to move around and take photographs. Number 10. Which text evidence best shows that what the author believes that Mars Mars exploration will be successful? First spacecraft flew to Mars in 1975. They also want to know if any plants or animals had ever lived there. With the Mars Polar Lander gone, NASA had to go back to the drawing board. Or Spirit and Opportunity have collected many details about this mysterious planet. Which one shows that the author believes it will be successful? This one talks about them having to go back to the drawing board. It talks about when they first went. So which one shows that it's going to be successful, that they've actually collected a lot of information? Then on the back here, we have our essay. After reading Mysterious Mars, you can cross out and the closest star, the reader learns that scientists have done a lot of research on Mars. Use text evidence to explain what they have discovered. All right, so we're going to go back, and I want you to go back and find things that they've discovered about Mars. So I'd start with a topic sentence that says, scientists have discovered a lot of information about Mars. Okay? Then I'm going to use text evidence. So if I go back, I can see this paragraph is going to be really helpful. Right? I can say on page 145, the author says that Mars is very cold and dust covers the whole planet. Okay? I can also go back and find more information. If I turn to page 146, nothing can live on Mars. Right? The spacecrafts, the photos showed that nothing could live on Mars. That was on page 146. Author talked about pictures that show nothing could live on Mars. I want you to find one more detail. Okay, so go back and reread, find one more detail. So you'll start like this on page, if you either 145 or 146. What else did you read that scientists discovered? Okay, and then try to wrap it up with a closing sentence that summarizes everything that we talked about. When you're done, put it back in your Friday folder.